I wanted to make a video about how my last week before the release of my new game went. So, if you don't know anything about me, I'll make a quick introduction. If you already know, then there are timestamps and you can skip ahead. So, I released one escape room game for virtual reality 5 years ago, and overall, according to me and from what I expected, it was a success. And for the last 2 years, I have been working on a new game, which is also an escape room. It is most a puzzle adventure because I wanted to make something bigger, something that has a story in it and a narrator so you can follow it. And overall, at least for me, I think that it is a much more polished and professional project. And this game is ready, but it was a really nice week before the release. So I'm normally from that type of people that want to be prepared when they're doing something, so I don't want to leave everything for the last moment. And I think that I have tested everything. I had submitted my build to the Meta Horizon store. The team had approved it, I think 3-4 weeks before the release, and then I was just polishing and fixing some stuff up. And I had around 20-30 people that tested the game before that, but I wanted to make sure that there were no more problems, so to say. And I reached out in Reddit, I made a post and asked for more people to beta test the game a few days before the release. And most feedback was positive, many people liked the game, but many also had complaints about the controls. And this is something that I didn't expect at all. So I have made the controls the same as in my previous game, and I've even added some additional tweaks that you can change for how you move, your locomotion settings, controls, and so on. But still, there were people that wanted something different, and that's not a problem. But apparently, it was a very big problem for them. So, 2-3 days before the release, I started talking with every single one of them, asking them then what would you prefer, why is it not working, what is something else that's not working, and so on and so on. And I'm happy to say that I was able to improve some of the things before the release, and I also made an update 2 days after that. So, what were the biggest problems? The so you can move freely in the game. This is something that I'm a very big fan of. I don't like puzzle games that you just teleport from one point to another. I think that we are in the point of time in VR and we can just move freely. There is no need to just teleport. We have the processing power in standalone games as well to do that. And in my game you can teleport and also move freely. And I'm mostly using both of those. And my early testers, most of them were also using teleport, and the ones that were using movement were also using the teleportation. But apparently, there are many people that don't want to use teleportation at all and just want to move around. And here where the problems erupts. So in my game, the movement is a little bit on the slower side. So of course you can teleport and you can teleport very fast. But if you don't want to use a teleport, then sometimes it can take you a little bit longer to reach from one side of the house or the outside environment across the path. And yeah, I understand that. I just haven't accounted for this. So now in the newest update, you can also run. And another thing that people had the problem with was the way that I had developed and implemented the crouch mechanic. So in my first game it wasn't possible to crouch at all because I wanted to be more immersive. So if you wanted to grab something from the floor, then you actually reach down and grab it. Of course you had the option to grab something from a distance, so if you don't want to reach down, then you can always grab something from a distance. But now when we have also drawers and more complex mechanics and stuff that you can just grab, because a drawer you cannot grab it into your hand from 5 meters away. Then I have implemented the option to hold down the controller so that you can crouch. And I was really not sure if you should just have a toggle so that you push it down and after that you stay down and then push it again down or up to go up. And what I actually had done is that you hold it down, and while you're holding it down, then you're down. When you release it, then you go up. So of course you have your normal movement on the other controller, so you can move up and in every single direction with this controller, and then on this controller you use left and right for snap movements or smooth rotation. So if you want smooth, then you can rotate smoothly. If you want snap, you can do snaps. And my idea was that you have free movement for up and down, so why don't you also go up and down with this joystick? It was very intuitive, at least for me. But here was the problem, that I have actually made it so that it activates really late. So you really have to go down before you start crouching. And the point of this is because we don't want you to go left or right and accidentally push a little bit of the joystick down and go down. And this actually worked pretty well. I have also increased it so that it works even better. But still, there were people that wanted to just be able to toggle it. So this is also an update that I have done. My concerns with this were that somebody might accidentally push it down, not take a look at the controls that you actually crouch, and then spend the whole game just be in a crouch state very close to the ground. And because of this, I wanted it to be like holding, and this is the option that is activated at start also at the moment. But for everyone else that is not afraid that they are going to spend their whole time down, then yeah, of course, I'm sure that people will notice, but yeah, this was my problem with that. So overall, thank you all for the support, thank you for the feedback. I am happy with all the positive comments, and I've done my best to improve the controls. I've also actually in the last few days improved many other things thanks to the feedback from everyone that reached out, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the controls, and yeah, because this was like the biggest thing that needed to be changed. And of course, if you have further suggestions, what other options you would like to see me implement so that you have more choice, then just write in the comments and I'll do my best to do it.